Something new. I see it, but I don't. Trending. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TriggaTraeTV, man. Back with another video. Look, I was on TikTok and somebody commented that somebody said I should need to. I forgot who it was. I want to shout you out, but I forgot. My TikTok been going crazy. Y'all been blowing the TikTok up at TriggaTraeTV on TikTok. Young Don the Sauce God. He has 2 M's. You gotta see it. He trending right now. Somebody told me to react to this. He's still the only thing I love. So we're gonna check it out, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, be notified. We'll turn up a little more this time. No cap. I'm gonna put a video right here in the corner. Ooh, excuse me. Other than that, follow me on Instagram at FINESSED. If you want SoundCloud or anything type of music related to be 45 seconds played on the video, DM me about it. You get your video on any video. You can get your music played on any video. Just DM me, man. I'll tell you all the details. But let's do it, man. We're finna get straight into it. Guess what? We already been talking too much. We ain't gonna be pausing that much because it's a long video. So
eventually, I decided to go and investigate, you know? Started to climb up the hill. And at the very top of the hill was a small
I like the little
house.
animated stories.
I went up to the front grill and I started knocking on the metal bars separating me from the inside of the house. I knocked and knocked and knocked, thinking that Kevin was just...
Use headphones, okay.
I was mad living with you. I couldn't sleep naked.
Oh yeah?
Hell yeah.
This is
You
pissed
could have
off.
asked.
What?
What? Wait
Like I
a
walked
minute.
into the Foot Locker and then got my size. It's like, well, you know, what's going on? You know, is get these little slaves to work.
Wow.
Get them to work. Get their little hands to stitch up these shoes. I need some fresh Nikes. What are we doing?
Ain't nothing like crackhead strength. That crackhead immune system. If crack don't kill
No
you,
cap.
Nothing will.
nothing.
I thought I need to watch this
That crack
podcast.
don't kill you, boy.
Cause
Crack
somebody
make you
crack
stronger,
in.
boy.
They be
What COVID
stupid
gonna do?
strong.
You got crack in your system, nigga. You high. Can't do. What the cough gonna do? You cough more smoking crack. I'm not rapping on that.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead, Will. He
We
said,
about to sit down, record a podcast. Where you doing? You better bring your ass. We about to talk for 2 hours. Get them Sour Patch Kids, get them sours. I'm cracking jokes. Don got the beat. And I'm about to go beat.
Wait a minute. He about to go do what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't
several
think.
questions regarding changes to my stock.
Dang, they got the non-skip ads. We ain't even got to the video yet. What going on? Who told me to react to this? Cause I ain't with the. Well, I'm gonna put my ads too. Watch mine. Watch mine with it.
So one summer back in Jamaica, I was about 11 years old.
I just skip.
To go beat my meat.
Okay.
So one summer back in Jamaica, I was about 11 years old. My mom packed me and my little sister up in the car and drove 2.5 hours out to the country to visit my auntie Paulette. We did this almost every year when I was a kid.
That's
and
hard. That's
I really enjoyed
real
it
TV
because I was a city kid. Grew up in Kingston. The country was a very different place for me. In the country, you go to sleep with the front door wide open without worrying that someone was gonna break in. You spent all your time outside because there was always more things to do outside than inside.
That's true.
And when you got hungry, all you had to do was look around and there would be some kind of fruit tree that you could go and pick fresh fruit from. But the thing I like most about the country were the people. People from the country live a simpler life, an honest life. Something about the city just makes people slimy and grimy. You know, it's a cutthroat pace of life. But in the country, it's just good food, good people, and good vibes. So after a long, bumpy drive to the country, my mom finally pulls up in my auntie's driveway at the top of a hill at the end of a long, windy dirt road.
Oh yeah.
It was a big white single-story house with a red shingled roof. She had a big front yard with a pumpkin patch, and there was always this dog that would sit in the front yard and stare at you. This was not my auntie's dog. Nobody knew where the dog came from. It just came and went as it pleased. Still, my auntie would feed the dog. Why? Because that's just what people from the country dude. They're all just
Dude,
good
I like
people,
his accent.
you know?
Country, dude.
Or at least, that's what I thought. But as much as I love going to visit my auntie in the country, I never liked staying there too long. Because
they get bored.
wasn't much there for a kid to
Facts.
do. And at the time, my auntie didn't have cable television, so it's not like I could watch the TV shows that I liked. This was also before Wi-Fi was a commonplace thing, so no internet. And even if there was, YouTube, Netflix, none of these things were invented as yet. And worst of all, besides my sister, I ain't have no one my age to play with, you know? So 3 days. That's about how long I would last before I started trying to befriend the dog outside, who I named Fred. Why?
Facts, though. It ain't really much to do out here.
Because he looked like a Fred. Duh. But this summer would be different. I was not going to be subjected to a week of boredom, but instead, my heart would be broken, and I was going to have my first true taste of betrayal. So one day, I was sitting on the steps at the front of the house, very bored, when I saw another kid my age walking past the front gate.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I wasn't gonna say anything,
Guarantee
but
he lived down
I
the path,
couldn't
too.
let
All
an
of them live in the
opportunity
same-
like this
right next to each
pass.
other.
I ran out to the road, and I yelled out to him, "Yo! Hey!" He stopped and turned around. Hey! You live around here?
Yeah, I live up the hill.
Oh! Hey, you wanna play a game or something?
Okay, yeah. Let me ask my mom first.
Okay. Can I come?
I guess.
I should probably ask my mom first. Can you wait?
I'm gonna come back. Let me just tell my mom I'm gonna be down here.
Yeah, alright. Okay. And off he went.
He ain't coming
I grabbed the football that was sitting in the front of the yard and
Football,
sat on the
that's a soccer
stairs
ball, but
and
you from a
waited.
different country.
Sure enough, eventually, this kid came running down the hill. His name was Kevin, and Kevin was my new friend. And we played all day long. He showed me the different hiking trails around the area. He even ate dinner with us. And at the end of the day, Kevin went back home and I went inside. And for the first time, instead of worrying about how I was gonna pass the time, I worried about the day that I would have to leave my new friend from the country that I would probably
you only
never
got 3
see
days.
again. The next day, Kevin came back down to play, but this time, he brought his Game Boy SP. I had told him the day before that if he brought his game, we could play video games together. He only had one game, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Of course, he had already beaten it twice over, so I told him that he could borrow one of my games. I mean, this was my new best friend. I opened my little pouch that I kept all of my video game cartridges in. I had like 6 or 7, and I told him that he could borrow any game that he would like, except for my Pokemon Emerald. That was my favorite game at the time, and I was very protective over it. He picked a game, and we started to play. Here we were, 2 boys that barely knew each other, not saying a single word, playing completely different games, all the while still greatly enjoying each other's company. Do girls have anything like that? I wonder. Eventually, we probably switch back to playing soccer or spend time throwing small rocks at bigger rocks. Who knows? Who cares?
I swear, when you in the country, I gotta pause one time. When you in the country, you find something to do. Like it could be as wild as jumping off rocks or climbing a fence. Those were the good days. Okay, you in the country, you can do some wild stuff. You just start. Your mind expand, boy. You be doing some crazy, some wild.
Just boys being boys. The third day wasn't much different from the last. Kevin came down the hill. We played some video games. We played some football. And when the sun started to go down, Kevin had to go home. But this time, Kevin did something new. He asked me for a favor. Like I said, Kevin only had one game, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. On the third day, he asked me if he could borrow some of my games overnight. He had never played any of the games I had, and he wanted to try some of them out before I left. At first, I wasn't sure, because these games were the most valuable things that I had. But he said he would leave his Kirby game as some form of insurance, and I was interested in seeing what this whole Kirby thing was about. I told him he could borrow any 3 games that he would like. He chose Sonic Advance, The Legend of Zelda, and my Pokemon Emerald. And I ain't gonna lie, man. At first, I was hesitant about lending in my Pokemon game, but I had beaten the game a while ago and I wasn't playing it much. Worst case scenario, he was gonna start over the game, which I was already close to doing anyway. Plus, Kevin was an honest, good country boy. I mean, he meant no harm. So, after thinking it over, I let him borrow all 3 games. I remember going to bed that night and playing Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I'd never heard the name Kirby before this game. I liked Kirby. The next day, just like the 3 days before, around 11 a.m., I went and sat outside, waiting on Kevin to come down the hill.
Kevin did the
1 hour passed, 2 hours passed. Before you knew it, it was the middle of the afternoon. Still no Kevin. Now I was starting to get worried because this dude had my Pokemon Emerald and I wasn't about to let him borrow it for 2 nights in a row. Eventually, I decided to go and investigate, you know? Started to climb up the hill. And at the very top of the hill was a small yellow house. I went up to the front grill and I started knocking on the metal bars separating me from the inside of the house. I knocked and knocked and knocked, thinking that Kevin was just somewhere inside, fully consumed with playing his new games. I mean, could I really blame him? Eventually, the front door to the house opened, and out came an older woman who looked very annoyed. Excuse me, little boy. Can you tell me why you bang on my gate? Oh, I'm sorry. Is Kevin home? Oh, okay. You're Kevin's friend. No, baby. Kevin went back home. Back home? Baby. What do you mean? Doesn't he live here? Oh, no, baby. He was just visiting for the week. What? He was just visiting for the week. He left this morning. Him never tell him was leaving. Never tell him was leaving. Never tell him was leaving. Immediately it started to sink in. Kevin was gone, and he took all of my games with him, including my Pokemon. I had been finessed, betrayed, and of course, I wanted to be mad. But to be honest, this was the same Pokemon game that I had stolen from this other kid. That was one of the very first stories I told on this channel. So, in a way, I kinda had it coming. And even though I felt like bro did me dirty, he did save me from being bored out of my mind for a few days. And he left me a new game that ended up being really fun to play. Moral of the story, be careful who you trust. And remember, appearances can be deceiving. Because the only difference between a saint and a sinner is a good reason.
That's hard though, no cap. That's hard. Is that the end? He got these little 15 seconds. But you yeah, he got country boy finesse. He got finesse. No cap. I mean, overnight, nah. Don't let nobody borrow your junk overnight, man. Just like, nah, you can play it when you come back tomorrow. I kind of learned that the hard way.
Been working overtime.
I kind of learned that the hard way. I think that's the end of it, though. Yeah, that's the end, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, be notified. No cap, man. If y'all want to check this out for yourself, we're gonna be in the description down below. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about him getting his junk stolen. Y'all tell me if y'all from the country or not too. Leave it in the comments down below, man. But other than that, man, make sure y'all watch the video to the right. If y'all want to get y'all video featured on the video, I mean y'all song featured on the video, DM me at afk.trae on Instagram. Follow the game channel at TriggaTrae Gaming. And that's about it, man. Other than that, we're finna get on to the next one. Okay.